And so your hero's journey is at an end. Darkness now closes in, and his life comes to pass. No more villains to vanquish, no more quests to crusade, and all his wars have been won. His sword falls silent, his shield takes its rest, and his gold-plated armor becomes obsolete. Legs beginning to wobble, he stumbles, falls, and crashes harshly into a neighboring tree. The pain caused by the impact pales in comparison to the injuries he has suffered, and short, sharp gasps expel from his mouth. The weight of his final efforts pull heavily on his core, and he knows these wounds will be his last. Body slumping against the bark, the world around him becomes a blur, and a haze forms within his pupils. His helm stifles his vision, dust and dirt lace his nostrils, and a breathless wheeze squeaks from his mouth. Ripping the helm from his head and casting it down with a deep thud, it slams into the long grass and rests within a newly established divot. Nestled beneath the tree, it sits peacefully for a moment, the black eye holes unblinking, and the blood-stained steel glinting in the evening sun. Its duty has been fulfilled, its watch now ends, and it gratefully prepares for its new home. With his back pressed against the bark, he unclips his heavy chest piece, one buckle at a time, and lets it fall without grace. Along with the weight of the world, he breathes a weak sigh of relief, as the steel no longer bears down on his bones. The gilded steel shines bright, ignoring the wild puncture wounds across its surface, and the sigil of the Kemsera kingdom stares back defiantly. An ever-present symbol of hope and beacon that flickers within the darkest of places. A content smile appears on your hero's lips as he slides down to a sitting position and revels in the pride he found within his armor. Although his undershirt is smeared with sweat and stained with blood, in his mind he will always be coated in the grace of those most worthy. He knows his deeds have earned him an eternal title, protector, savior, the epitome of good, and even though his true name will be lost to time, it matters not. Wincing in pain, he gulps down a fresh clump of blood and wipes his moist brow. A tranquil quiet now descends upon him, and a gentle breeze is the only sound brave enough to break the silence. His drowsy eyes scan along the cliff edge and out into the vast horizon below, before eventually resting over the carnage that sprawls amongst clearing. Bodies rest motionless, shields lay shattered, and broken swords that pierce flesh sway in the gentle breeze. He spares a thought for his fallen brethren and says a quiet prayer for their souls. He takes a moment to indulge in their shared memories, recall their valiant quests, and sheds a tear for those he held dear. He thinks of home, his family, and everyone he leaves behind. The thought of his wife alone and son without a father brings fire, fury, and deep regret to his soul. Yet, just beneath the anger, he knows they will now be safe, and a sense of reassurance sparks. He's done all he can, succeeded in his role, and secured their futures. As the darkness behind his eyes continues to deepen, death stretches an outreached palm and pleads with him to take it. Even though he finds himself on the precipice of death's door, his resolve remains stoic, and he beats back the cold embrace that awaits. He needs to cling on just a little while longer and understands that before giving in, he must finally let go. Searching between the lifeless corpses of his enemies, half-closed eyes lock in on their target and fall upon a motionless knight. Fully cladded in blackened plate armor, a red cape sprawls beneath the weight of his body and silently carries him from this world. A gauntlet stretches out to his side and grasps a bloodied greatsword resting quietly upon scarlet soil. The other clings to a mighty wound at the center of his chest, a last gasp attempt to change his fate. Yet in the end, all he could do was face the heavens and pray his soul would be forgiven. This man had haunted your hero for years, became a nightmare that plagued his dreams, and a nemesis that caused him so much pain. To your hero, he was a symbol of all that was wrong with the world, a wielder of fear and a bastion of evil. Your hero would stop at nothing to extinguish his blight, and he would stop at nothing to exterminate him from this reality. Yet as he now looks upon his face, he does not feel anger, he does not feel vengeance, he does not feel wrath. All he finds deep within is pity. He breaks the veil, smashes the illusion, and now gazes upon a weak soul driven by power and lust for rage. He dies alone, isolated, and forgotten. The relief washes over your hero like a holy light, and a great weight lifts itself from his shoulders. He lets go of the pain, releases the spite, and casts out the revenge that darkened his heart. He knows his time is now. He knows he is ready. Finally, letting his eyes fall to a close, he accepts the looming darkness and waits to be welcomed into eternity.